The Cassadine technology from the 80s was deadly. Are our friends walking into a trap, or what?
I don't know. I can't say for certain, but from what Ethan heard, Victor's plans have been decades in the making. So God help our friends if they're swept up in that. God help all of us.
Was Ethan able to tell you anything else?
Apparently, Victor told his personnel that the only people guaranteed to be safe when he finally executes his plan are the people closest to him.
What the hell does that mean?
Nothing good for the likes of us.
Victor has said that only people closest to him will be safe. Then we can assume that there will be devastating consequences for the rest of us. And for the rest of the world, quite frankly.
The guards seem to think that those closest meant people who are in proximity to Victor.
What are the odds that Victor doesn't give a damn what happens to his henchmen?
No, that man will only keep people alive that are useful to him. But he does have Spencer and Ace. What if the people closest to him are the ones that he cares about? I mean, if he's even capable of that.
It's only a theory, but what if Victor has some kind of bomb?
Yeah, that would certainly fit his doomsday scenario.
What could he possibly accomplish with a bomb?
I don't know, but it would explain why he's gathering his loved ones around to protect them.
Trina Robinson was a stowaway.
Yeah, so he wouldn't have been counting on her presence.
Doesn't explain Obrecht. I mean, apparently he was obsessed with her at one point. But since her return to Port Charles, you know, his focus has been on other things.
So unlikely she would count as a loved one. Why take her then?
Maybe he wants something from her.
Are we certain that Liesl Obrecht is a captive? Maybe she's a collaborator. She could have gone willingly with Victor.
Well, I mean, she disappeared from the nurses' ball right in the middle of a magic act with her grandson and his sister. I don't think she did that on purpose.
When Luke and I crossed paths with her back in 2013, she was hardly a doting grandmother. She admitted to putting you into a coma, and she knocked me out in order to escape. She and Victor are two of a kind. I can't believe you would ever trust her.
Well, I'm not going to nominate Obrecht for sainthood, but she's a different person to what she was 10 years ago.
Yeah, since Faison died. I mean, right around the time that he did, you know, she started to realize the tragic consequences of her obsession. She's lost 2 children now, and her grandson and her niece Nina are the only family she has. Wait, isn't she supposed to be donating bone marrow to Nina's daughter? I don't think she left this town willingly.
I mean, it's not like Cassadine yanked her off the street. I mean, that stunt that they pulled at the nurses' ball, that took a lot of planning.
It sort of implies that she is pivotal for some reason. And given that she is a brilliant researcher, I bet Victor wants her for her skills in the lab, not her sparkling conversation.
So if Victor needs something that only Obrecht can give, maybe that means what he has isn't a bomb.
A far more sinister weapon. Victor doesn't have a conventional weapon. It's a biological agent.
And he needs Obrecht's expertise to activate it.
Right.
Biological warfare. Well, Victor's certainly capable of it.
That explains Liesl being there. And his comments about those close to him being safe.
The code inside the Ice Princess necklace either leads to a safe haven for Victor and his friends, the ones he wants to stash, or the biological agent itself.
Oh my God, Laura and everyone, they don't know what they're walking into. We have got to warn them. Did you reach them? Did you reach Laura?
None of them. Just a message stating that their phones are out of the area.
Okay, you have to keep trying. Because if we're correct, and Victor has a biological agent, then Laura and Valentine, they're going to need help. And I think that you need to call the WSB.
Do you suppose that this changes their calculus at all?
It must.
Please call them. Our people are going to need backup before it's too late.